The drawer would not close. That was how it always started for Yvette. She would go to shut the kitchen drawer and something would catch, some spatula or twist tie or rubber band ball, and she would have to jam it with her hip and the drawer would close crooked. And she would stand there for a second feeling like her whole life was a drawer that would not quite shut. Too much in it. Too much everywhere. And not one single thing she could put her hand on when she actually needed it. The same was true of her money, though it took Yvette far longer to see that the drawer and the bank account were really the same drawer. Her checking was every bit as crammed and crooked as that kitchen drawer, full of little automatic charges she had forgotten she had ever agreed to, a streaming service she never watched, a box of samples that came in the mail she did not need, a membership to a store she went to maybe twice a year, small things. $3 here, $9 there, $14 on the first of the month, every one of them too small to feel like anything, all of them together quietly eating her alive. She would look at the account some weeks and feel the exact same helpless catch in her chest that she felt at that crooked drawer. Too much going out, and nothing when she truly needed it that she could put her hand on. Yvette had a full house and an empty account, and for the longest time she did not understand how a person could have both at once. The house was crammed. 3 half-used bottles of the same dish soap under the sink because she could never find the one she had. A closet so full of clothes she could not breathe, and nothing in it she wanted to wear. A counter covered in little things, cheap little things, a candle here, a gadget there, a basket she bought to organize the other baskets. And every month, the account at the bank went down to almost nothing, drained not by some big disaster, but by 100 small leaks she could not even name, $3 and $7 and $12 at a time, until the money was just gone, and she could not have told you where. Her name was Yvette LeBlanc, and she was 53 years old, and she worked at a consignment shop in Gentilly in New Orleans, where rich people brought their barely worn things, and Yvette priced them and hung them on the racks. She was good at it. She had an eye. She could tell real silk from the fake by the way it fell, could spot a good handbag across the room. It was a particular kind of ache, to spend your days handling other people's beautiful, well-chosen things, and then to go home to a house stuffed full of cheap stuff you bought to feel better for an afternoon and could not stand to look at by Tuesday. Because that was the truth Yvette did not say out loud. She did not shop because she needed things. She shopped because there was a hole in her, a low grey feeling that lived behind her ribs, and a little something new pressed up against that hole for a few hours and made it quiet. A scented candle, a cute mug, a blouse on sale, the third one like it. The buying was never really about the thing. It was about the 15 minutes of feeling like she was a woman who had nice things, who was doing okay, who had her life together. And then the bag came home and the feeling wore off, and the hole was still there, and now there was less money, and one more thing the drawer would not close on. She knew in the part of her that lay awake at night that she was not really buying things at all. She was buying a feeling, and only renting it because the feeling never once stayed bought. There was a particular flavor to that low grey mood behind her ribs, a flavor of not enough, of being a woman past 50 who had worked her whole life and had nothing pretty to show for it, and a small new thing in a crinkly bag pushed back against that flavor for about as long as it took to drive home. Then it wore off, the way a painkiller wears off, and the ache settled back into the exact spot it had left, plus a charge on the card, plus a little more shame for being a grown woman who could not seem to stop. The buying was never the sickness. It was only the cough. If you have ever bought a little something to fill a big empty, and then felt worse and quieter about it than you let anyone see, then you already know Yvette better than her own sister did. And if you do, stay with me, because the day is coming in this story when Yvette sits down on her own kitchen floor and finally sees the whole thing, and I want you there when she does. This space here was made for women carrying exactly this. Like You. If you have not yet made it part of your week, you might want to fix that. There was a woman 2 doors down named Miss Antoinette, who had taught school for 40 years and was retired now, past 80, and Yvette had always been a little fascinated by her. Miss Antoinette's house, the few times Yvette had been inside it, was almost bare, not poor, bare on purpose. A few good chairs, one painting on the wall that Yvette could not stop looking at, a kitchen with hardly anything in it, but everything in it was good. And here was the part that needled Yvette. Miss Antoinette, on a teacher's pension, was never broke, never scrambling at the end of the month, calm as a Sunday. Yvette, who worked just as hard, was always one bad week from nothing. One evening, Yvette was bringing in her trash cans, 2 of them stuffed with packaging and bags and the boxes of things she had bought and barely used. And Miss Antoinette was out on her porch in the warm New Orleans dark, and she nodded at Yvette's overflowing cans, and she said it light, the way old women drop the heaviest things lightest. She said, "Oh, I stopped buying my happy in little pieces a long time ago. Costs less, lasts longer." Then she said goodnight and went inside her bare, calm house, and Yvette stood in the street holding her trash cans, feeling like she had been read down to the bone by a woman who had barely looked at her. She carried the cans to the curb and went back inside and could not settle. She walked from room to room of her crammed little house and saw it, for the first time in years, the way a stranger would. The candles she had never lit. The 3 blue blouses on their hangers, tags still on 2 of them. The basket she had bought to organize the other baskets, itself now heaped with unopened mail. Every surface held a small monument to a bad afternoon. She had believed all this time that a full house was proof of a full life, that a woman with nice things was a woman who was doing okay. Standing there in the lamplight, she understood for the first time that she had it backward, that the fuller the house had gotten, the emptier she had felt, and that the 2 were not a coincidence at all. They were the same fact, wearing 2 faces. She did not sleep right that night, buying my happy in little pieces. It was such a small phrase, and it would not let her go. She lay there, and she counted, not sheep, but purchases. The candle, the mug, the 3rd blue blouse, the basket for the baskets. She added it up the way you add up something you have spent your whole life refusing to add up, and the number she landed on, the number she had spent in little pieces over the last year alone on things to fill the hole, was a number that could have been sitting safe in the bank right now. She felt sick, and underneath the sick, for the first time, she felt something that was almost relief, because if the leak was 100 small choices, then 100 small choices were a thing a woman could actually change. Saturday morning, Yvette did something that scared her. She started in the bedroom closet, and she took everything out, every blouse and dress and pair of shoes, and she piled it all on the bed, and then she sat down on the floor in the middle of her own crammed life, and she made herself look at it, all of it at once. And it was so much, and almost none of it was anything she loved. It was just the evidence of 1,000 afternoons she had tried to buy her way out of a feeling. She sat there a long while, and then, instead of organizing it, instead of buying another basket to hold it better, she did the opposite of everything she had ever done. She started giving it away, bag after bag for the church. She kept only the things she truly wore, the things that were good, and the pile she kept was small enough to scare her and clean enough to make her cry. She sat on the floor of the emptied closet a long while, in the strange new echo of a room that suddenly had space in it, and she let herself cry the way you cry when something is finally over. Not from sadness exactly, from the sheer relief of setting down a weight you had forgotten you were carrying. All those clothes had been a list of all the women she had tried to buy her way into being. The fancy one, the young one, the one whose whole life was together, and not one of those women had ever once shown up, because you cannot buy your way into a self. You can only quiet the longing for a few hours at a time and call the receipts a life. The small, clean pile she kept was just her own size. It was almost nothing. It was enough. It was the first thing in years that actually fit. In the kitchen, when she got there, she did the same. Out went the duplicate soaps and the gadgets she never used, and the chipped mugs she kept for no reason. And at the very bottom of it all, under everything, she found a cast-iron skillet she had bought herself years ago, a good, heavy one. The only good one she owned, buried under a dozen cheap non-stick pans that were all peeling and ruined. She washed it. She set it on the stove. One good skillet where 12 bad ones had been. And standing there looking at that one black skillet on the clean stove, Yvette understood the thing Miss Antoinette had been trying to hand her on the porch. One good thing you love beats 10 cheap things you're only tired of cleaning. Less was not loss. Less was air. Less was control. She stood in that cleared kitchen a long time, just breathing the new room of it. She had expected an emptied kitchen to feel like lack, like a poor woman's kitchen, the very thing she had spent her whole life buying little things to prove she was not. Instead, it felt like wealth. Real wealth, the kind nobody could sell her, the kind that came not from having more, but from finally not being owned by her own stuff. One good skillet on a clean stove. She could find it in the dark. She could put her hand right on it. And it came to her, standing there, that this was exactly what Miss Antoinette's bare, calm house had been all along. Not the house of a woman who could not afford things. The house of a woman who had simply stopped letting things afford her. There is a kind of brave that does not look like brave at all. It looks like a woman past 50 letting go, deciding she would rather have one good thing she loves than 10 cheap ones she is only tired of dusting, and finding out late that the empty space was never the enemy. The clutter was. She made it a rule in her own head, because Yvette was a woman who needed a rule to hold on to. She called it the one good thing rule. Before she bought anything now, anything at all, she asked one question. Is this one good thing I will love, or is it a little piece of happy I am buying to quiet the whole? And most of the time, standing in the store with her hand on some cute, cheap nothing, she knew the honest answer, and she put it back. The whole did not get fed in little pieces anymore. And the strangest thing happened, the thing she never saw coming. When she stopped feeding it, the hole got smaller on its own. It turned out a good part of that low-grey feeling had been the clutter itself, the weight of all that stuff she did not love, pressing down on her every time the drawer would not close. It was not instant. There was a hard stretch around the holidays when the old pull came back strong, when every store and every screen told her that love was a thing you proved by buying, and she slipped. And she came home with a bag of little pieces, and she sat in her clean kitchen feeling the old shame creep back. But her house was different now, and a clean house argues back. She looked at the bag of stuff against the calm of the room she had made, and for the first time in her life, the stuff looked wrong, like it did not belong, like a stranger had set it down. She returned most of it, and the bank account, which had not had a calm month in it in 20 years, started quietly to hold a little more at the end of each month than it held at the start. Not because Yvette earned $1 more, because she stopped letting it leak out in pieces too small to notice. 8 months on, a year, and Yvette LeBlanc was a woman her old self would not have recognized. The drawer closed, the closet breathed. And there was money in the bank now, a real soft cushion of it, the first she'd ever had, built from nothing but 100 small no's where there used to be 100 small yeses. She was never broke anymore. It still surprised her some mornings to remember that. She had not gotten a raise. She had not won anything. She had simply stopped buying her happy in little pieces, and it had turned out that the happy was already there, underneath, the whole time, buried like a good skillet under a pile of ruined pans. A younger woman started at the shop that spring, bright and frazzled. And one day she confided in Yvette that she did not understand it. She made decent money, but it all just vanished. And her apartment was full, and her account was empty, and she felt crazy. Yvette knew that exact feeling like her own name. She did not give the girl a budget. She brought in the cast iron skillet from home the next day, of all things, and she set it on the counter in the back, and she told the young woman the story of finding it buried under 12 bad pans. She told her to go home and take everything out of one closet and look at it all at once. She told her to keep only what she loved, and from now on, before she bought a single thing, to ask whether it was one good thing she would love or just a little piece of happy to quiet the whole. She told her the secret nobody sells you, because there is no money in it. You do not get richer by buying better. You get richer by wanting less and meaning it. The young woman did not say much. She just kept looking at that heavy black pan on the counter like it might explain itself. But a few weeks later, Yvette watched her walk out to her car, carrying one small grocery bag instead of the usual armful, and the girl caught her looking and gave a little embarrassed shrug, and that was how Yvette knew the skillet had landed. It never took a speech. It took one good heavy thing, set down in front of a woman, and the patience to let her come to it in her own time, on her own night, the way Yvette had come to it on hers. So here is what I am asking you tonight, and I want a real answer. Comment the words Day 1 down below, and tell me the one good thing you already own and love, the thing you would keep if you let the rest go. Just one. Naming the one good thing is how you start to see all the little pieces for what they are. I read every single comment, so put yours where I can find it. And if Yvette's story landed somewhere real in you, stay here with us. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because every week there is another woman, another quiet turning, another story waiting for the one who needs it. Do not let yours pass you by. If it touched you, leave a like. It is a small thing, but it carries this story to another woman sitting in a full house with an empty account tonight, wondering how she has both at once. And if you want to start seeing where your own little pieces are going, there is a free app that will lay it out plain and simple for you, so the leaks finally have names. The link is waiting in the comments. Thank you for staying with me to the end. Go find your one good thing. Everything else is just a drawer that will not close. I will see you next week.